You have changed, you grew, you evolved. It feels like you're a whole different new person. You feel like you have never been more yourself than who you are right now. And at the same time, somehow, it feels so lonely. It feels like nobody gets you, nobody understands you, nobody really comprehends who you are right now. Everybody still's relating to a past version of you, and you feel totally different within yourself. You feel like you're no longer fitting in the places where you used to fit in and where you used to feel like home. And at the same time, you don't feel like you fit in this other place. You haven't found that where you're going. Maybe you had a group of friends that you don't longer connect with, but you don't also have a new tribe that comprehends you. Maybe you feel that you connect with your family differently, and it's like there's friction in the relationship, but you haven't been fully authentic. They don't know this version of you yet, so you don't even know how they relate to that. Maybe you left a job and you feel like it was the right thing, but you haven't found this new thing that is in alignment with who you are right now. You are going to an identity upgrade, and it is so necessary that you reintroduce yourself as this new being. Just think about when you were 5 years old. It is crazy when we see pictures of ourselves and we think it looks like a different human, it feels like a different human. And somehow, the things that used to feel comfortable and safe and the things that were familiar, they feel very uncomfortable right now, because you know that they are not a match to this version of you that feels like truth, that feels in alignment. So I'm going to share with you 5 powerful steps for you to reintroduce yourself to the world so that you can really express from a place of freedom and well-being, a version of you, an identity that fulfills you and that is not in friction with everything around you. You're going to learn how to hold that mirror so that everything around you, that environment, reflects back to you these upgrades and changes that you have been having. And I have been there. I used to work at a consultant firm where I was very rigid, very in my masculine, very strategic. And I went all to the other side to being very flowy in connection with my feminine, in a beautiful spiritual path, just dancing with the flowers. And I feel that I have come also to a middle ground that feels very balanced. But in multiple times of my life, I had to reintroduce myself because I recognize that I'm a human being in constant evolution. And if you are keeping yourself trapped in a costume that doesn't belong to you anymore, this was an identity that you were wearing, and somehow it got so stuck in your skin that now it's difficult and challenging to take it off from you. You are keeping yourself from growing in that direction in which your soul is calling you to. So this is a very courageous moment in your life in which you meet yourself in this new version, and opportunities, miracles, blessings, synchronicities happen to you. But everything that you're wanting to manifest is going to be an answer to the frequency that you are emanating. And you know that it is a match for the person that you know you are within yourself. But if you're keeping yourself trapped, hiding behind an identity that no longer serves you, all of these things that are trying to find you cannot find you behind that costume that you have been wearing. The first thing that you need to do is to reintroduce yourself with yourself. This is a moment for you to sit with radical honesty. What are the things that feel familiar but they don't longer feel comfortable? They don't longer feel they are in alignment with you. This is your gift. You're now being called to connect with your highest purpose. There where you can expand your authenticity, and all these things that make you unique are also the things that are going to help you connect with your purpose, because the only why you have in life, if you haven't found your purpose yet, the only why you're here on this earth is to be fully yourself, to express, to expand yourself, to get to know who you can become in this process of being a human. And when you do that, in the moment in which you allow yourself to be fully you with all your gifts, if that serves and inspires others in their evolution, that is your service. Your service is not to be here caring for others at your own cost. Your service is living in authenticity, because the way in which source is expressed to you can only be expressed in you. So it is not only a gift, but also your responsibility to fully embrace what's your story. What are the things that make you unique? For me, as I share with you, all my cultural background, my business background, connected with my spiritual background, created this bridge in which I now serve leaders to connect with their purpose and live a fulfilled, purposeful life that comes from within. And that takes framework, and that takes a strategy, and that takes a plan, but that also takes inspiration. So when I was fully in my consultant phase, I felt like, hey, I feel like I love meditating. I feel like there's this deeper calling, but I cannot express this with these people because they're only in this business bubble. And then when I went to my spiritual side and I connected with this tribe and with these people, sometimes I would feel afraid to talk about business and strategy, about money, because I felt that they couldn't connect with that. And what I found is that it was my gift to connect these two things, apparently separate, but those were the things that made me unique. And now when I did, I can share my purpose and create the greatest impact I can for others. If you're a mom, if you're a father, and at the same time you know about agriculture, if you know about languages, but now you're feeling like you have something deeper that's connecting you with breathwork, how can you connect these things and allow yourself to be fully you? This means accepting where you have been and what your story is to be able to move forward. Acceptance of where you have been and clarity on where you're headed. I'm not saying that you need to bury a version of you. I'm not saying, many people say like, oh, this version of me needs to die. For me, instead of burying that version, I take all the women that I have been, all the versions of me, and I put them in my altar. I take them now as my mentors, as my counselors, because I know there's wisdom that I needed to become the woman that I am today. So what are your versions, the versions of you that you have been taken away in this process, that you feel like they should be dead and they can teach you so much? For as long as you are not in acceptance of who you have been, you're not going to gather all the wisdom and all the information, the teachings, the lessons that are allowing you to now be fully yourself. The second step is upgrading and updating your boundaries. Your boundaries are what are going to let your nervous system feel safe. The nervous system is like an electrical circuit, right? So when all the parts are connected, the energy can flow. And it's the same in your body. You can feel this essence, you can feel inspiration, you can feel motivation, you can feel that you're so tapped in and connected with your real self. But if your nervous system doesn't feel safe with this new identity and it feels like you're going to be rejected, what if people don't love me anymore? What if people leave me? What if they don't like this version of me? You're going to create interrupters in that electrical circuit, so that is going to stop the flow of this energy, of this authenticity that is coming through you. What are boundaries? Boundaries are what you need in order for you to connect with yourself, to live at peace, and to protect your relationships with yourself and with others. Many people are afraid of boundaries because they think there are these restrictions or limitations that you're putting onto others that could feel firm or angry. But in reality, boundaries are the gift of what is the vessel that is needed for us to relate in peace. A boundary is not you telling someone, hey, you need to act this way because now I feel this way. You need to accept me. No, the boundaries are what I am no longer willing to tolerate. And when you do that, you say, hey, you know what? I love my family so much. I feel that we don't connect in the same way. I feel that there are certain topics I'm not willing to go to. So the boundary is I'm going to share time with my family. And the moment in which there's gossiping, there is toxic conversations, or they are like feeling like I'm being drained by the conversations, I'm going to step out, and I'm going to do something else. I'm not going to involve myself in these conversations. It takes radical responsibility to acknowledge that it is your decision what you're tolerating, what you're giving your energy and time to. And you're the only one who knows what it is costing you, because now you're in a new path, and all this energy that you're giving to something in the past, imagine that you're watering a plastic plant. There's nothing that's going to grow there, and you only have certain capacity, certain amount of water, which is your energy and time. So you are now being deliberate and discerning on how you are investing yourself. The third step is for you to create an environment that is a match to your new identity and to your growth. You need to decide, and I would recommend you to make a list. What are the spaces, opportunities, situations, people that nourish you and that expand you? And what are the situations, places, people that drain you? And remember that it is okay to outgrow spaces, not because you're better, not because they're worse. You're not doing it from a judgmental place. It's because you know you're just different. It's like the radio station. You can be listening to salsa right now, and at the same time, there are all these other stations playing rock, classic melodies, all the other type of music. Does it make the other music bad? Not at all. But you are choosing what is the music that you want to dance to. The fourth one is allowing yourself to be seen. You need to know that your truth matters and it's uniquely yours. It is time for you to start sharing your unique perspectives, opinions, what matters to you. Just bring it out in the table and remember that this is not an attack to others. It's not something that you are defending. The one thing that I admire the most when somebody connects with their truth is that they are willing to question it. So instead of you trying to convince other people that you are right and this is the right way, you can listen to those perspectives without you being permeable to them. And knowing that you're staying true to who you are. It is time for you to stop performing. If you find yourself saying what you think that others want to hear, if you find yourself agreeing to something that is not in alignment for you, just because you're afraid people is going to judge you or they are not going to accept you, it is time for you to fully be seen. And I can tell you from personal experience, the moment in which you accept your story, you accept your perspectives, and you know that you're not for everybody, you free yourself and you free others. You let them be. You're not trying to convince, just as you want to be accepted, you accept that everything that you're seeing in every person is the result of their personal journey, of their personal experiences, of everything that they have been through. It's like flavor. It's like a flavor, a combination. Imagine like a cake. Every single person is pouring ingredients into their lives, and at the end, they only eat their own cake. I'm not going to be mad because somebody else has a different flavor. And at the same time, I'm not going to change my flavor so that they can accept it, because at the end, I am going to be the only one who's going to eat my cake. And the fifth step is to finally reintroduce yourself. This means even if you are in the same environment, you are going to behave differently. Your behavior, the way that you are, how you hold yourself, how you present yourself, does not change because of the place that you are in. And many people go through this, that they need to be one person at home, one person at work, one person with friends, one person in nature, and one person when they are by themselves. Where is it that you feel the most authentic? This is not something that somebody's asking you to be. It is your choice. So how can you allow yourself to be fully you, knowing that this is the most beautiful, delicious gift that you can share with everybody? Once you do that, you're going to recognize the difference between fitting in and truly belonging. Yes, I know that this is a period that feels scary. This is a period that feels lonely. You're not fitting in anymore. But the reality is that for you to fit in, you need to behave as someone that you're not. And when you finally stop doing that, you're going to understand what it is to belong. Instead of having to be somebody else, for you to belong, you need to be authentically you. You need to be yourself, because it's almost like in a puzzle. You're going to fit in, you're going to be a unique part of an entire picture. Imagine a puzzle where all the pieces were the same. Imagine a song where the same and the same and the same chords have repeated. You are singing to your own song, and that is what makes the music and the melody so beautiful. You're not competing with anybody else. You know that by you being who you are, that's the greatest service that you can give to others. And believe me that you're going to be so liberated. There are so many ideas that you have in your mind about how others are going to perceive you, about what they are going to think about you, that are not real, that are just living in your mind. And you can try it. You can just share a little bit, decide not to engage in the things that no longer belong to you, and express yourself as you are fully called into a greater version of you. And that is where your greatest future and the greatest possibilities are also going to find you. The fear of you reintroducing yourself comes also from a lack of self-worth, not knowing your value, not knowing how valuable all your experiences are, not acknowledging that You in your authenticity is the most valuable thing. We try to fit in when we're asking other people, what is my worth? What is my value? Am I valuable? Am I acceptable? Am I lovable? When you know that for yourself, when you know you're worth it, when you know you love yourself, when you're unconditional with yourself and you are in full acceptance of who you are, then your self-value and your perception of self doesn't depend on anybody else. There's something that happens in your brain that is called neuroplasticity. When you go through a series of events, realizations, a new sense of awareness, of consciousness that shifts who you are. And we save the idea of ourselves, self-perception, in a place in our brain that's called the default mood network. And when that shifts and that changes, depending on the idea that you have about yourself, you're making every single decision around you. The clothes that you're wearing, the music that you listen to, the people that you relate to, they come from this auto-perception. And the moment in which you know that has evolved, your decisions, your behavior, your commitments have to change as well. If not, you're going to feel like you're walking life as somebody else, that you're living somebody else's life, that you're following somebody else's dream. And believe me, there's nothing people regret more when they are in their last times, in their last hours, than not allowing themselves to be who they are truly within your heart. And before this video ends, I just want to recognize you and tell you how much I honor you, because it takes so much courage to grow. It takes so much willingness, self-love, and passion to realize that we're no longer who we used to be. And that it's fine. It's not only fine, it's such a gift. But it takes a lot of energy, a lot of commitment, and a lot of willingness. You might never be ready, but if you're willing, this is something that is going to transform your life. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you find it useful, please share with me in the comments how is it that you're transforming yourself. Count on me to support you in this journey, because I wish I had someone to guide me through it. And also, I'm going to share with you down here in the comments a link for you to access a mastermind where I'm going to teach you how to rewire your nervous system so that it can support this new journey in your life. Again, I hope that you're enjoying the most delicious times in your life and the richness of being you.